Welcome to SciSense, where we unwrap scientific research, because science should not be a puzzle.
Oh, Mike, I am so excited to talk about this study today. We just found out that millions of people are walking around with Alzheimer's disease in their brains, and they have absolutely no idea.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me people have Alzheimer's but don't know it? How does that even work? I thought Alzheimer's was all about forgetting things and getting confused.
That's exactly what everyone thought. But this massive study just flipped that understanding on its head. They scanned the brains of hundreds of cognitively normal older adults, people who are sharp as tacks, remembering names, doing crosswords, living totally normal lives, and found that 20 to 40% of them have significant Alzheimer's pathology in their brains.
Okay, but what does Alzheimer's pathology actually mean?
Great question. It means they have the physical signs of Alzheimer's disease. Specifically, these toxic protein clumps called amyloid plaques and twisted fibers called tau tangles building up in their brains. These are literally the defining features of Alzheimer's. If you looked at these people's brain scans, a neurologist would say, yep, that's Alzheimer's pathology, even though the person is functioning perfectly normally.
That's wild. So it's like the disease is there, but it hasn't kicked in yet?
Exactly. Think of it like termites in a house. The termites might be quietly eating away at the foundation for years, but upstairs, the family is living normally, completely unaware of what's happening below. The brain pathology can accumulate for 15, maybe even 20 years before symptoms appear.
Whoa. So does that mean all these people are definitely going to get Alzheimer's eventually?
Here's where it gets really interesting. We don't actually know. That's one of the biggest mysteries. Some people have extensive pathology and never develop symptoms before they die of something else. Their brains somehow tolerate all that toxic protein. Others have similar amounts and do progress to dementia. Scientists are desperately trying to figure out why some brains are resilient.
So how did they even discover all this? Are they just randomly scanning everyone's brains?
They use these incredibly sophisticated PET scans that can actually light up amyloid plaques and tau tangles in living brains. It's like having night vision goggles that can see invisible threats. But here's the game changer. They also tested people's blood and found a biomarker called p-tau217 that can detect this early pathology with amazing accuracy.
Wait, a blood test? That sounds way easier than a brain scan.
So much easier. And cheaper. PET scans cost thousands of dollars and require specialized facilities. A blood test you can do at your regular doctor's office. This could enable screening on a massive scale, like we do for cholesterol or diabetes. We're talking about potentially identifying tens of millions of people in the earliest stages of the disease.
Okay, but I'm not sure I'd want to know, honestly. If there's no cure, why would I want to walk around knowing I have Alzheimer's brewing in my brain?
That's the million-dollar ethical question. And you're not alone. This is a huge debate. Some people absolutely want to know so they can make lifestyle changes, enroll in clinical trials for new drugs, plan for the future. Others would rather not live with that uncertainty. There's no right answer.
Are there new drugs, though? I thought we'd been striking out on Alzheimer's treatments for decades.
We have been, but here's the thing. We've been testing drugs on people who already have symptoms, whose brains have already suffered major damage. That might be way too late. It's like trying to fireproof a house that's already engulfed in flames. But if we can identify people in this preclinical phase, when their brains still have resilience, treatments might actually work. Several new therapies are in development that target these proteins.
So this could completely change how we do clinical trials?
Absolutely. Instead of waiting for people to show up at memory clinics, we can proactively find people with biomarker evidence of early pathology, but normal cognition and test if we can prevent symptoms from ever developing. It's shifting from treatment to prevention.
This might be a dumb question, but if 40% of older people have this pathology, is Alzheimer's just a normal part of aging?
Not dumb at all. It's common, yes, but we wouldn't call it normal in the sense of being inevitable or acceptable. The fact that some people's brains can tolerate it while others can't suggests it's not just about the pathology itself. Things like education, staying mentally active, social connections, cardiovascular health, these all seem to build what we call cognitive reserve, kind of like having a backup generator for your brain.
So even if the pathology develops, you might be able to resist it.
Exactly. That's the hopeful message here. Your lifestyle choices throughout life might be building resilience that helps your brain function normally, even if these proteins accumulate. Exercise, learning new things, staying socially engaged. These aren't just feel-good advice. They might literally be protecting your brain's ability to tolerate pathology.
This is honestly both terrifying and kind of hopeful at the same time.
Right? We're discovering that Alzheimer's is way more common than we thought, which sounds scary. But we're also finding that the relationship between pathology and symptoms is complex, that we can detect it super early, and that there might be a huge window for intervention. We're basically rewriting the entire playbook for how we think about and approach this disease. The next decade of Alzheimer's research is going to be absolutely fascinating.
Thanks for listening to SciSense. Share it with a friend. See you next time.